All right then. So now in order to integrate the Google AI, Gemini AI, all we have to do is to get into your browser and search for ai.studio.google ai.aistudio.google.com. Search for AI Studio. So that is going to take you into the Google AI Studio. So if you are doing this for very first time, first you need to create this API key, get API key. Okay. So all you have to do is to generate an API key for yourself, right? And in this case, I'm going to use this API key, which I already generated. So I don't have to create that project for myself one more time. So I'm gonna use this exactly the same key for myself. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this and get into the env folder, env, right? And inside here I'm just going to create myself that API key for the Google generative AI. So all I have to say over here, next underscore public underscore Google generative API key, something like this, equals to, paste it and then save it, close it. Since we modified the env file, so let's stop the server and rerun it, close it. Okay, and oops, and before restarting it, we have to install one more package, right? So let me get over here and clear it, and let me get into the create prompt. And if I click the get code section, I should able to see this at Google slash generative AI. So then I just need to say npm add at Google slash generative AI. So please make sure to copy it and then clear it, then npm run dev. So we should able to run that application now. So right after that, close this, right? And let me get into the AI Studio. This is the code that we wanted it, right? So let's jump into the coding part. Identify image. This is the place where we are doing. So this is going to take some additional prompt, maybe in future. And by default, it is going to be a string type, and it is going to load the empty string. Even if you're not sending anything, it is going to take an empty string as an argument. If I don't have an image, I just need to return this function. I don't want to perform anything. If I do have an image, I'm just going to say set the loading state as true, right? Then I'm just going to copy from here. From here, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it over here, right? Then I can get this from Google Generative AI, right? And instead of this API key, I'm going to supply process.env from the environment variable, get the environment variable, access this next public, make sure the spellings, everything is perfectly fine. Next public, that should be properly added. So next public, that key. Okay, and still we are getting this type error, which means it cannot be string or undefined. So in order to ignore this, you just need to add this not symbol at the end of the after that public key. So save it. You will not get the type issue anymore, right? So now we have the model and everything. Okay, so we are using the latest model 2.0. If you are getting any issues with the 2.0, please revert back to 1.5, right? Then let's get back over here. I'm going to bring the try and catch. So inside this try and catch, if there is any error is happening, I'm just going to say console.log, open it. I'm just going to say error on identifying image, and then I'm just going to say whatever the error that is, it needs to be printed over there. Save it. Okay, then I'm just going to collect the result. So all I have to do is to use state snippet, open it. I'm just going to store the result, and by default the result is going to be an null. Either it can be a string or it can be a null. That's it. Okay, and inside this function, if there is any error is happening while doing it, all I have to say, if the error is instance of an error, we need to make sure that the original error is been occurring. If the error is instant of that error, then I just need to set the result. Set the result into using dynamic string literals error on identifying image, identifying this image, and I need to print that error message, error dot message, right? Else I'm just going to say set result and unknown error occurred while identifying the image. This is the what we need to display on the result. And whether if there is any issues or not, or it is working perfectly, I need to stop the loading. So set loading, which is going to be false. Right now inside the try block, this is the place where it's going to be a really bit tricky part. So const image is equals to await. We have to generate the image into a generative part. So file to generate generative parts. This is the function that we are about to create, and we have to supply the image into it, right? So far we don't have any function like this. So basically what we did right is, right now we just created the Gemini AI and then create a project, and then we just integrated it, and we have created ourselves a project over here, right? So first now what we have to do is we have to make sure whether it is working fine or not. So that's what we have to do next.